Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews. We have some news, but before we get into that, as always, I want to take a moment and remind you guys to make sure that if you are not subscribed to the channel, that you do just that, as well as hitting that bell to be notified of any future videos so you can keep up to date on anything that I post, and also make sure you hit that thumbs up because that helps the channel out greatly with each thumbs up that you give on every video. And without further ado, let's get to the news. The very first thing that I have for you guys is actually some brand new images of the pair of Yuppie Chen Giganotosaurus, and we also have some information on the fact that this is now available in 1/35th scale, and the price is actually $260 US a set, and that does not, of course, include shipping. And if you are not familiar with Yuppie Chen's work, then you probably should get familiar with it because it's some of the best work that I've ever seen from any paleo artist anywhere. The detail that he manages to pack onto his models is just unbelievably beautiful, and you can see that in these models right here. If you are not familiar at all, I do actually have a review up of his Tyrannosaurus Rex here on the channel that you can check out. It'll give you a good idea of how the detailing aspect looks on his models, but even without checking out any actual reviews, you can see just from these images that these Giganotosaurus are probably the two most detailed Giganotosaurus possibly on the planet. They are just incredible, and I love the fact that he's kind of created an entire diorama here with a male and female together, just showing off a potentially very realistic scene that I'm sure occurred plenty of times while these animals were alive. And then, you know, as you run through the images, you could just see how beautiful and crisp the detailing aspect of the models is, and you can also see like scars and open wounds potentially depending on how you paint them and everything on the models. Again, something that without question you would probably see littered all over these animals. So a lot of realism goes into the Yuppie Chen models, and this probably is his best work yet, if you ask me, even better than the Tyrannosaurus. So if you are interested in these models, make sure you check the description, as I will have a link right there for you to contact Yuppie Chen on Facebook. And if you do not have social media, you can contact me and I will contact him for you to help you place an order for these amazing Giganotosaurus models. And then as far as the beasts of the Mesozoic goes, we have a look at some of the smaller 1/18th scale ceratopsians that are currently being created by David Silva and the Beasts of the Mesozoic line. And it also gives us our first look at the alternate species of Protoceratops as well, with a really cool looking green paint scheme. I absolutely love the look of that. Really like that greenish paint scheme from what we can see here. I am really excited to see potentially some more images of these guys in the future to get, you know, a closer look at the actual painted up prototypes, get a better idea of just how good they look. But honestly, they look incredible, and you can see in comparison to the 1/6 scale Protoceratops a better idea of what the size of the figures overall is. And I think that these are probably going to be just as nice as the 1/6 scale versions of each dinosaur, and I personally cannot wait to get my hands on these. And we also have another image of a 1/18th scale figure coming from the Beasts of the Mesozoic line, and that is of the Tyrannosaurus in comparison to the Triceratops. This is an image that David Silva has just shared, and man, is this Rex incredible looking. You can see just, of course, right there with the hand in the screen. If you're not familiar with how large the Triceratops is, you can see the hand right there showing you just how large it is. It is gigantic, and that Rex is beyond enormous. I'm really excited to see the painted up prototype of this Rex, but even more so excited for the Kickstarter to begin, which hopefully isn't too far off. And then as far as PNSO goes, we have a look at another new model coming from them, and it's one that personally I could not wait to actually see. We did know that this model was coming. We weren't quite sure how good it would look, and I am here to tell you that it looks unbelievable. This is the Yutyrannus. A huge thank you goes out to Paleo Nerd, who actually broke these images and allowed all of us to actually get a good look at this newest model from PNSO. It looks beautiful, absolutely gorgeous looking Yutyrannus with a really nice feathered appearance to it. Very similar looking pose to the Giganotosaurus that they had released previously, but overall I am really excited about this release. It's about time we get a really good Yutyrannus, as it's been a very long time since we have had one, and I feel like this one here could rival the upcoming Beasts of the Mesozoic version, but definitely something that, again, I'm going to be very eagerly awaiting the release of. I'm not entirely sure if this one will be going up for order immediately, or if this is another one we might have to wait a little bit of time for. But either way, I do know one thing, that once it does go up for order, I'll definitely be getting a hold of one to review for you guys. And then as far as Marco Makes and Alex, Kendrick, and the Kingdom collection that they are currently working on, we have our very first look at the upcoming Velociraptor Blue bust that will be coming from them, fully printed out and looking incredible. And I must say that the detailing of this model is so crisp and so beautiful. And as far as the actual likeness goes to Velociraptor Blue, it is spot on. And you can see that with those really nice glass eyes, the overall realism is pretty much off the charts on this model. This is something that I, as well, am going to be very impatiently awaiting the arrival of, something I cannot wait to add to my collection, and it is incredible. Already not even fully painted, it just looks absolutely beautiful. And speaking of Marco Makes, he is actually currently working with Rod's Random Work to create an articulated Tyrannosaurus, which you can see from this image, an in-progress image that he is currently obviously in the midst of creating, and I think this is something that could potentially become Rod's best work yet, collaborating with Marco and creating such a beautiful Tyrannosaurus. I feel like this is something that many people are really going to be interested in getting a hold of, myself included. And the detailing aspect and overall likeness to Rexy already is incredibly well done. I would love to see more of these type of figures coming from Rod's Random Work in the future, maybe even more collaborations with Marco Makes. I would really enjoy seeing many other species created as time goes on, but I'm also just as excited about seeing this one get completed right here, because it may be the best version of a JP Rex yet. And actually, speaking of Rod's Random Work, he has also created a newborn 1:1 scale Velociraptor, which you can see right here. Looks beautiful. I'm really loving his work, and I love his stylized version of the dinosaurs that he creates. He creates them in his own kind of a look, but also capturing a lot of Jurassic Park likeness to them. And I really feel like this is the perfect blend of both with his Velociraptor right here. And we've seen so many smaller versions of his models in the past. I was really excited to see that he was actually working on a full-scale version of a raptor right here as far as a baby raptor goes. It just honestly looks incredible, and I can almost envision it with like a JP-style paint scheme on it. Yet another incredible release coming from Rod's Random Work. And then we have a few new looks at some upcoming Mattel Jurassic World sets, and a huge thank you to Collect Jurassic for this information. But the very first one that we have here is a Kenji with the Monolophosaurus, and of course all of these sets we have already seen images of, but we haven't seen so many images up close and looking really cool. And this is probably my favorite of all of the upcoming sets, just because that Monolophosaurus looks incredible. I love the new look for the Monolophosaurus, as well as the really nice looking paint scheme. Again, I really would have liked to have seen the lighter coloration that seems to be littering the Monolophosaurus run out onto the tail, but even without that, I think it looks great, and I'm really psyched to get my hands on that new version of the Monolophosaurus. And Kenji himself actually looks really quite nice overall, definitely capturing the screen-accurate type of a look for Kenji from Camp Cretaceous. And then we have the Yasmina set, which I think is also really quite cool. Again, as far as the actual human character Yasmina goes, it really captures her likeness beautifully. But this is probably the least exciting set, again, as far as these go, because we really only have a Velociraptor Blue and 2 compies, all of which we've seen previously numerous times in the line. Something I would have liked to have seen, like a new dinosaur figure here included, but the figures that are included, the compies, are great figures. The Velociraptor Blue does look really nice, even if we've had about a billion blues already. And then, of course, Yasmina does look really nice as well. And then we have Darius, and unfortunately we only have one image of this set, but I will say that with this nice closer look at the Gallimimus, that Gallimimus is gorgeous, really beautiful paintwork on it this time, and this actually may be, aside from the Legacy version, my favorite Gallimimus from Mattel yet. I really can't say for sure until I get it in hand, but it looks great right here. And then we also have a hatching Bumpy, and a Velociraptor Resonating Chamber, which is a really cool little addition to this set. Darius, of course, we have had prior to this, so the Darius figure is nothing new and super exciting, but there are a few extras here, as well as a really nice looking Gallimimus. And the final one is Ben with Bumpy, the slightly older version of Bumpy. And I really love everything about this set. I think the Bumpy figure looks great. as well as Ben himself, which is probably my favorite of all of the human figures that are coming out for the Camp Cretaceous line, because they really did a great job overall, of course, on the likeness of Ben, but also capturing the look of him from Season 2, where he's kind of dirty and everything, and you can actually even see dirt on the figure as well. So these sets are really interesting, something that I'm super excited about actually getting a hold of, and it's nice to see more human figures actually entering the Jurassic World line. I also wanted to let you guys know that the brand new Mattel Spinosaurus has actually started to show up in stores at Target starting today, and thanks to Collect Jurassic, we just found out that the brand new Amber Collection Ray Arnold figure as well has been found in store in Target in California. So a lot just now showing up in store in Target, lots of really fun stuff to go hunting for. And a huge thank you goes out to Dino Mike Mac on Instagram, who gave me this information, but we have a brand new Mattel Mosasaurus that we'll be releasing sometime in the very near future as well. This is only the second large-scale Mosasaurus that we've had from Mattel. It's been quite some time since we had one, and this one, on top of sporting a new paint scheme, also has an action feature to it, so it's a very interesting release. I'll be really excited to learn more about it, and I'm super happy to see the Mosasaurus finally getting another figure from the Mattel line. That's one of the few species I feel like that have just really been overlooked as far as figures go. Like, we've had tons of repaints of others, but really only one release as far as the Mosasaurus goes, if you don't count the minis or anything, or the Indominus Rex skeleton set. But as far as the figure goes, we've only had one version of it prior, so it's nice to see a new retooled, repainted version that should be hitting stores sometime in the near future. So as of right now, guys, that's all the news I've got. When more comes out, I'll be sure to send it your way, but until then, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.